want to do a little lesson for you guys in terms of reality denial and basically a master class in how to lose an election. Whoa, my computer is freaking out right now. Let's see if I can get this. Holy cow. Okay. Let me just do this again. All right. So basically, Fox News has this complete blowhard on, and I just the whole time he's been talking completely out of his ass, and it's kind of embarrassing to be honest. But this is what happens when you get into denying reality, and just making up whatever narrative makes you feel good, and it is a cornerstone of failing campaigns, of failing operations, of failing countries, and of failing, basically anything that is not gonna work out in the end. So let's go watch, and I'll talk.
Franchise Jewish Americans as well. The Democrats have basically thrown Jewish Americans reducing inflation on foreign policy. There's 8 to 10% of the voters who are still undecided, and they're going to make their decision. And she offered nothing to those independents on security, on economic reforms, on.
So there was literally a CNN segment right after the speech, after the convention, where it was about 10 undecided voters, and they asked them, have you made up your mind after this? And I think it was 8 of them had made up their mind and decided they were going to vote for Kamala, and then one person said he made up his mind, he was going to vote for Trump, and there was one who was still undecided. So this guy he's just saying things. He's just literally just coming on and saying whatever diarrhea comes to the top of his head.
Reducing inflation on foreign policy security. She has done nothing. And more importantly, that speech.
She talked about housing prices. She talked about bringing down the prices of prescription drugs. She talked about Israel and Gaza in the Middle East. She talked about Ukraine. She talked about addressing these issues. It's almost as if he wasn't paying attention, or he did pay attention, but then whatever he already decided he was going to say, he's just saying anyway.
Speech last night disenfranchised Jewish Americans as well. The Democrats have.
Somehow the speech disenfranchises Jewish Americans. I don't know where he got that from or how he got that, but apparently that's something else that popped into his brain.
Basically thrown Jewish Americans under the bus, but her.
How?
Her speech gave nothing to the independents who are still undecided.
Yeah, I wonder what it is that.
It's almost embarrassing to kind of to first of all, the fact that this guy's on TV, and second of all, to even be here and debating this guy who clearly has absolutely no idea what he's
this
talking
community
about.
wants. Leo, tell me about the black voter and what they want to see.
Thank you very much. That's a great question. They want good public schools. They want choice.
They want good public schools. They want choice. So first of all, choice, I assume he means school choice, and that would mean like more charter schools or more private schools, which are not readily accessible to the Black community and lower income communities anyway. So I don't know what that would have to do with that. And secondly, he talks about public schools. The Democrats are the ones that give public school teachers raises. The Democrats are the ones that pass legislation to fund public schools. And the Republicans and Trump are the ones that have in their Project 2025 to get rid of the Department of Education and to actually remove funding from schools. So again, it's just voting against your own interests or not understanding what the hell's going on in reality. But it's embarrassing that this guy is on TV.
That's a great question. They want good public schools. They want choice. They want law and order. They don't want the police defunded. That's the big.
They don't want the police defunded, which defund the police was something that people were chanting back in like 2019 or 2020. A few people chanted it. It became part of, rallying cries. Not a single elected official has called for defunding the police since then. It was nowhere near any of the dozens of speeches in the DNC over the course of this last week. Kamala Harris didn't talk about it once. She's a prosecutor herself. She believes in the police, and she believes in strengthening police forces and making them more just. And nobody's talking about defunding the police. So again, he's making shit up. He either didn't watch the DNC or he's just out of his mind.
They want law and order. They don't want the police defunded. That's the big myth. They want a job. You know what? The sad part about it was Kamala Harris threw Trump under the bus last night, but black Americans benefited under the Trump administration.
They benefited under the Trump administration because he took over an economy that was already heading in the right direction under Obama, thanks to Obama's stewardship and policies for the most part. There's a lot we could say about that. Trump did what? Some tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. I couldn't see how that would directly impact or help Black Americans. And he did, I suppose, the first step rule, which has to do with Black people who are incarcerated. But I don't see how Trump would have done anything very beneficial for the Black community.
Policies work. What you had Kamala Harris doing last night was running away from her policies, and she's asking for 4 more years to destroy the economy of America, to destroy law enforcement. We cannot let her get in that office. She is a clear and present danger to America.
I'm just wondering.
I feel like there's a lot of projection because the Republicans have the candidate who's actually a clear and present danger to the world and to America and to democracy and to so many institutions. And so Democrats have been saying that and talking about that. So Republicans feel a little bit insecure that they are the ones that are actually bringing down the country and steering us towards chaos and, all those things that were mentioned. So they bring that up and they say that because they want to even the playing field, where in reality it's just not true at all.
How the impact of the DNC will play out, Leo. Lots of celebrating, obviously, these last 4 days. You had the Clintons and you had the Obamas there getting behind her, even though I was questioning Barack and Michelle Obama's speech. I thought basically in so many words they both said, we know she's a weak candidate, but we're going to help her. That's why Michelle said, it's not all on her, it's on us. We have to help her. Barack basically said the same thing. So I found their speeches to be weak, but Nancy Pelosi was very strong behind
I didn't find that at all. I think she's sort of just reading into that too much.
her as well.
Anyway.
What kind of an impact does that have on the campaign going forward, do you think?
I think Barack's speech and Michelle has zero impact. You see, the Democrats have a playbook, Maria. It's called the race card. They insult the intelligence of Black Americans, basically saying, vote for Kamala because she shares the same.
Meanwhile, this asshole can't even get her name right. They had 2 children come on stage and do a pronunciation exercise to make sure these dumbasses could try to pronounce her name right, and it's obviously not working. Which also lends me to think that he didn't really watch this a whole convention. But even more so, those speeches were pretty good. I mean, Michelle Obama might have had the best speech, maybe top 3 of the whole convention. Obama's wasn't, for me, it wasn't as powerful, and maybe it was just because it was on too late and it sort of dragged. But he did have probably the biggest viral moment in terms of talking about, Trump's crowd sizes. Wink, wink. But again, this asshole just hates the Obamas, and maybe the Democratic Party has taken the Black vote for granted, but they also get the Black vote because historically they have done more for Black Americans. The modern Democratic Party, which used to be the Republican Party of the past, was the party that fought for ending slavery, is the party that fought for civil rights, is the party that fought for, you name it, go down the list of progressive policies that opened up opportunities for African Americans. It's the Democratic Party. It's not the Republican Party. So there's obviously a reason these things don't just happen out of nowhere. There's a historical precedent for it. They have to do better. But this guy acts like he doesn't understand these very, very simple things.
Same skin color. And that's very insulting. And so I would submit to you that it will have zero impact. And I'll tell you right now, Trump is ahead on the margins in all the key demographics. Blacks, Hispanics, young people. He cannot win in November.
Right. He's ahead on, single out a few specific margins, and he's not ahead of, but he's doing better than he was previously. But then so is Kamala, making up ground in other areas. And overall, in the aggregate of the polls, she's now leading in the polling in the swing states and in the general overall election. So he's not leading. He might have improved in a few demographics. So this guy doesn't understand polling. He doesn't understand politics. He doesn't understand what he was watching. He's making stuff up. He's, using talking points from, 6 years ago. And he's just yelling and, running his mouth and letting verbal diarrhea come out. Absolutely embarrassing. Let's finish it.
Yeah, I'm just surprised it's as tight as it is, given.
I'm surprised it's as tight as it is too, because on one side you have an absolute maniac and a monster and a demon who just wants to, make his own riches grow and do nothing, absolutely nothing for this country. He's a disgrace, and hopefully he does not end up winning this election. I would say he's not going to, but we have to go out and vote. So that's that big, absolutely embarrassing segment from Fox News. They have to stop having people like this on, because I don't know who that appeals to, but I guess it's just some more red meat for people to get into. It doesn't help to lie to yourselves. So come up with a better strategy and figure out a way to get some more voters on your side, because it's obviously not working and you're heading towards a loss. So enjoy it.